when I know that I've hit rock bottom is usually when I'm eating meat sticks and Takis in the middle of the night. That's my combo that tells me I should probably set a counseling appointment. Hi, I'm Lacey J. I'm an entrepreneur who started a social media agency at age 22. Weird, I know. I've been niching it down and building it up over the last 11 years, and a long 11 years they have been. Being on social media so much is hard on my and my team's mental health, so we work to find routines, balance, and focus on ethics that keep us showing up authentically online. If you manage social media accounts and you feel confused, unfocused, or straight up wackadoo, welcome to the club. We meet here once a week. Hello, you're back. What are you doing with your life that you end up back here? So happy to have you here. I'm also happy to have Emma here with me today. Emma Boucher is here.
Hi, hello.
I'm so happy to have you here. Emma works at Spry and is a social media manager you'll see in Spry Space if you're in that Facebook group. And once a month on the podcast here, I'm going to be bringing somebody on who is a social media manager so we can just talk through what it's like to be in the industry right now and what people's experiences are so that we can all just have a little relatability, right? So we can kind of feel connected in a way. Are you ready?
Yes, I guess so.
How are you feeling?
A little nervous, a little excited. Yeah.
Okay. We'll make it through together.
Okay.
So let me start out with how many accounts do you actually manage? How many social media accounts do you work on?
So I was counting before this, I think about 10 clients, but then around 30 channels. So that's almost all of them, and then a couple blog, like Medium and stuff like that too. So
that's quite a bit.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing any social media management?
Let's see, around 2 years, I think.
Okay.
So I started with LLNW, the Latino Leadership Northwest, and then slowly kind of snowballed into more after that.
Do you have a favorite channel or account that you get to work on?
I think it actually would be Latino Leadership Northwest. They were my first channel, like first professional channel I really worked on, and then I kind of grew from there. And I run their Instagram, and that's also my favorite platform. So
is it?
Yeah.
You and I have actually had the opportunity of working together on Latino Leadership Northwest, and it is such a rewarding project. You know, as social media managers, sometimes we don't get rewarding projects to work on. Sometimes we're selling shoes, and sometimes we're doing legal posts.
Legal posts.
You know, so being able to work with a group that actually has a cause that they're working towards and trying to bring empowerment and improvement to a community, it's really powerful, isn't it?
Yeah, and also their organization has such a good vibe and great people to work with, and I'm learning so much, and the collaborators like Rosalinda and I got to work. That's how I met you actually, is through their account. So yeah, that's just be able to work with good people and have great conversations while we're working doesn't make it feel like work as much.
That's such a big part of it. We talk about that in our company a lot, how it can make or break a relationship as a social media manager with who you're working with internally. Even if the business or the brand or the organization that you're working with, let's say it has a great cause, or even on the opposite end, it's kind of a crappy cause you're working for. If the person who you're working with you have a positive relationship with and you vibe with, it changes everything. It makes it so much better as a social media manager.
Even like the creativity process, like creating graphics or developing content, that's my favorite part, is to brainstorm and collaborate with people. So being able to do that with someone you enjoy and like can just throw ideas out, like no idea is a bad idea is not always the case, but when you're working with someone you enjoy, it's easy to just have that conversation.
So helpful. So how did you actually get started as a social media manager? I mean, it's not like the most normal career path. It's getting more normal. There are people who are actually like going to school and planning to be a social media manager. That didn't exist when I was going to college. So how did you end up getting into this space?
So kind of by accident. So I started my position. So I graduated in 2020 and I was working at a sheet metal company, hauling metal back and forth all day.
Wow.
And then I started my position back up at Deviant Compassion, and I was working as an assistant, but I need more things to do. There's only so much office cleanup and emails, and so Delino's like, well, we have this client, a Latino leadership, you have a good writing voice, let's throw you in there. And so that's how I started and then once again just snowballed into some other accounts. So
yeah, I worked with you and then I nabbed you.
Yeah.
Are you glad that you got into this field? Because it's
Yeah.
kind of, it's not the easiest to be in. Are you glad?
I am. It really, well, one, it grew my connections in my communities, especially in Vancouver. I'm from Battleground. It's a really small town, and when you grow up there, you don't really branch out as much if you don't go to college or anything. So having this job and having my job at Deviant has made it able for me to join in and jump into the Vancouver community and see all the different nonprofits and small businesses going on. So it was really cool.
What did you think you were gonna do with, like, if you were planning your career path?
Actually, before COVID, I was applying for a foreign exchange program to be a chef in Italy. But
That sounds pretty cool.
then I waited, and I don't like cooking that much for that many people, so I'm glad I didn't do it, because I was like, I like cooking for myself, and so it was kind of on a whim. And then I also was building my 71 Volkswagen bus, which is done now, like the inside is done, but now I'm selling it. And so just a bunch of different odd jobs. I hadn't really had one desired path. So this is actually perfect, because I also still get to keep going back and forth in a bunch of little odd jobs, I guess.
Don't you think it's interesting? I feel like as a social media manager, you have to be so multifaceted. Like the breadth and depth of skills that you have to develop is so immense that really it can set you up on many communications-focused fields.
Yeah, and well, it's also really interesting because it's just a job of learning, basically, because if you're joining a new client, you're learning how they work and you're learning about their company, or you're learning about how they want to talk about their company and different tones and different perspectives, and I think it's really cool to be able to dive into other people's perspectives.
That's such a great point. I never thought of it exactly like a career of learning, but it really is. I mean, you have to adapt and adapt and adapt. I like to say that I'm like a professional workarounder, you know?
Like I said, that's what, when we have our meetings and you're like, oh, you just have to click here, here, and then go here. And I'm like, wow, there's 18 different ways to go to this, to create this ad, basically.
Yes.
So.
How neat. So let's talk about some of the harder parts of it, okay? Because yes, it's all so fun to be able to like shoot photos and videos and edit them all together,
so fun.
And write, and like there's lots of parts that are kind of fun and maybe even people would consider fluffy, but there are a lot of hard parts in this industry too. What feels hard for you as a social media manager?
Remembering the little things. So like making sure I am toggling those little buttons, like don't post to Instagram, don't post to Facebook, or making sure that my ads are stopping on the days that they're stopping and not charging one of my clients more money than they should, or making sure that once I post a post, I'm sharing it to a story and tagging. So it's just the little tiny things that don't come naturally when you are scrolling social media for your personal page.
It's one of the reasons I think I do kind of a poor job of delegating, because there are so many little details that you have to get right on social media posts for them to reach their full potential. And so sometimes I will hold tasks to myself, like, nobody's going to remember to do all of these things. Only I can remember to do all of these things. Because then I go, what do? I try to make a training video for it. And for one little task, the training video takes like 7 minutes to go through as you're saying, okay, well, this is probably going to go wrong. And when this goes wrong, here's what you're going to do. And if that doesn't work, then you're going to do this instead. I've even noticed something as dumb as like if my phone battery is low, when I go to like download a draft of an Instagram reel, it won't download it properly. So it's like, how do you create a flow chart for that? Is your battery on your phone below 10%? Then you need to plug it in before you do this activity. How do you account for that?
It's you don't. You just kind of have to go with the flow. I feel incredibly lucky to be a detailed oriented person, because if I wasn't, I wouldn't care really. I would just be like, well, it is what it is, and then I would post the post. So
it actually goes back to your concept of it being a career of learning. Like, you have to be so adaptable to be successful here, to be able to, I don't know yet exactly how to train people to be adaptable, you know, to understand that there are so many things that could go wrong in the creation and promotion of this one piece of content. How do we prepare people to be able to adapt for that? It's so hard.
It's honestly overwhelming sometimes. So,
okay, well, which platform do you like to work on the most? When you've got client work that you want to do, which platform do you like to be on the most?
Definitely Instagram. Instagram is probably my favorite because I feel like it's one of the most straightforward. You have your picture, you have your copy, and there's only so many engagements you can do, but people still, I feel like, engage more positively on Instagram.
Oh, that's such a good point. I almost would have said that my favorite to work on is Facebook, just because it's kind of simple. It's more simple, you know, there's the most amount of people there. The process is down pretty well, that you can create a piece of content with a still image and a caption and put a promotion behind it and get reach and get clicks, if you will. But the environment of Facebook versus the environment of Instagram is night and day.
Exactly. So like Sage Development Authority, their engagement on Facebook is drastically different than their engagement on Instagram. So it's just it's like, what do I want to start my day off with? Something that's like really more positive, or something that's like, oh, let's see how to manage this. And it's like, it more is just we were able to go with the flow. And also Instagram's my first platform that I've ever was on too. I was in the 6th grade, and that's when I was like, I created my first account. So that's like, I wonder
if that's part of it, because Facebook was like one of my,
Facebook, I was like,
but
I was like, Facebook is for my mom, you know. So,
how dare you?
Sorry.
How dare you? I
Sorry.
saw you hesitate. You almost didn't say it.
I mean,
is it the same from an individual standpoint when you're like just playing on social media individually? Is Instagram also your favorite?
Yeah. Actually, TikTok is actually my complete favorite, because I think it's because there's more strangers on there. Because I get
because there's more strangers on there.
Because the people that I love and connect with, I connect with them personally almost every day.
Okay.
And I'm checking in, like I'll go out to find someone's Instagram, do a little stalking or anything like that. But TikTok, I'm engaging with new people, seeing new perspectives that I never would have if I'm just going through my feed of people I already know. So it's like,
so one is more like a friendship thing, while the other one is more entertainment.
Yeah, entertainment, learning, and I just want to say, like, I guess I want to engage more on TikTok, because I feel like not a lot of pressure, which is like the same thing of like being behind a screen. There's not a lot of pressure, but it's also, I feel like, lighthearted more.
That makes sense. Okay, a lot of the times as social media managers, maybe we have ideas of things for our own personal brand that we would love to allow to take center stage, but instead we spend all our time doing other people's content and hide behind everybody else's content. So if you were to have the opportunity to, you know, pour your skills into a personal brand, what kind of content would you create?
I thought about this a lot, actually. So, and I've almost started it a few times.
Okay.
But I bought like this pack of 8 tiny microphones, and I just want to have good conversations with tiny microphones, basically. And it's people talking to people. So like the first, I would like talk to my brother about all his projects going on, and I would talk about all my mentors. And I just want to talk to the people I love and care about and just share all their projects. And that's pretty much what it would be, just be chatting, because I like to talk. So
a lot of it would be amplifying what other people are doing.
Yeah.
So it's not even really about anything that you're doing. It's about you amplifying other people. That's interesting.
Yeah, because I like to support. I can ideate and brainstorm, but I like pushing other people along. So that would be my thing.
Are you an Enneagram too?
Yeah, I am.
You are, aren't
yes,
you?
I am.
Hey, if you're looking for ways to build your foundational social media strategy skills, we've got a course for that. I worked with Adrian Harvey, who's the lead digital strategist at Spry, has a master's in digital media, and has worked in digital marketing for over 10 years to create this course. The course is called Social Media on Purpose, and it takes all of the lessons we've learned over our combined 24 years in the industry and distills them down into bite-sized lessons for you to enjoy. If you're interested, check it out at thinkspry.com/courses. Also, we're kind of cute and funny if that's important to you.
So,
Okay, well, before we send everybody off to go tackle their week, let's talk about mental health as a social media manager for a minute. So what do you do? Well, first my question is, what do you do to maintain your sanity? I guess the question first is, do you feel like you have a sense of sanity?
I would say every 3 days I have some sanity. No, I think maintaining that is like community and connection and conversations. That's why I feel like our team meetings every week are so important, because we get to talk about our things in our red, yellow, green, where things we're struggling with or what we need help with, and you and Adrian have been really helpful too, because it's like, I don't know how to like, let's say where there's like a negative comment and it's like sometimes it hits really hard, but being able to take that perspective where I don't have to take that on personally, and just being able to have that community and connection, and also being able to brag about all the cool things that we're doing, I think that helps me maintain.
That's such a good point. I do think in this industry specifically, especially people who are freelancing and that kind of thing, it can be very isolating and lonely to be in this career, which is so interesting because your job is to connect with people on the internet, but like you're doing it by yourself in your own room. And so it's this juxtaposition of connection while also being alone.
Yeah, and especially since the pandemic, everyone was working from home. So I think also with some of our clients, they got that perspective of working from home and working by yourself too. So they're like, let's jump on and collaborate on a Zoom meeting, or I understand that this is really tough and you're kind of by yourself, or that you're managing a lot. Let's have a moment to debrief, and it's just, I feel like, increased capacity for community and connection.
Okay, I think that's beautiful. So I guess the main takeaway that we can give from that is, if you're feeling siloed and you're having a hard time maintaining some of your sanity with managing clients, can you find some place to collaborate? You know, that's really why we built Spry Space, the Facebook group, in the first place, is to have a place where people could come together and lean on each other and, you know, troubleshoot together and brainstorm together, and maybe most importantly, like, show off for one another. You know, we all need somebody to tell us we've done a good job, and it doesn't often come from the client. You know, they don't know what they're looking at. They don't know how to say whether something is good or bad, and sometimes you don't get that positive affirmation even when you've done a great job. So having a space that you can lean on other people and get some of that that collaborative connectivity, so important. Okay. You did good.
Thank you.
Emma, you
Thank
did good.
you.
If you want to connect with Emma and us some more, you can find us in that Facebook group. We're very grateful for you taking your time to hang out with us for a few minutes, and I hope you have a wonderful week. You're going to do great this week, and if you don't, that's okay too. There's always next week. All right? Have a good rest of your day. We'll talk to you later. Bye.
Social Media with Lacey J is brought to you by Spry Social Media Marketing, edited and produced by Chad Hinman, and executive produced by Lacey J. Fott.